Well, I have an interesting challenge on hand. I have 15 minutes to talk about something I've been working on over the last 2.5 years. I have 15 minutes to share with you how this process, this forum process that we keep hearing about, how the most distracted, unorganized, the most emotionally, walled up boy chose to pick this as his career path. And I think that says something about how seriously we at DLC take forums, but really what kind of impact forums has in the world. I think if you ask anyone who's associated with forums, what does a forum mean to someone who's been indoctrinated into it? They'll quite honestly tell you it's almost like a cheat code for a leader. And I say that with all respect and no sort of negative malice. And that's because for far too long, this concept of forums has always been sort of mysterized and kept very elitist. Well, being exposed to my dad being an EO member in Mumbai over the last 6 years, I've been exposed to the world of forums since then. So I think let's do a quick exercise. Everyone who thinks they know what a forum is, raise your hands. Go on, right up. Great. All of you other guys are liars. And that's because when we hear forum, right, it's human nature. We think we know it, or we know a little bit about it. So a couple of things that came to my mind the first time I heard it. Yeah, it's a group, it's a networking group. No, that's not it. It's a friend circle or, a social circle. That's not it either. Okay, it's not social, it's not friends. What is it? Is it a serious business group? You should make sure you are on the table or get yourself on the table. This is that round table. In my experience, no, forum's not that either. It runs far deeper than just sort of transactional experiences and transactional monetary gains. It's not a purely business group. What forum is and what it really focuses on is every human has about 95% of their life that they can share with everyone. But 5% of those good things, and more importantly, 5% of those bad things, they have no support system and no trusted environment where they can share everything with that same set of groups. I mean, sure, there is therapy, but quite honestly, anyone over here tell me if I want to get a therapist's number, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask someone without feeling judged that, hey, I feel like I'm going through a bad time in life, I need someone's number. Well, at those low points in time, what a leader needs, and it's very well known to everyone that the higher a leader grows or the bigger a leader grows, it's lonely at the top. So when a leader's feeling isolated, when they don't know where to turn for when things are going wrong in their business, when it's having a strain or a negative effect on their family life, on their personal life, what a leader needs at that point in time is someone to keep an arm around them and sort of say, you know what, don't worry, we are here for you. And not someone who's going and giving free of course advice, but simply hearing you and not just listening for the sake of listening, hearing what you are saying and then, kind of helping you and being with you. So this entire concept, this entire idea, that's been structured into a group of about 6 to 10 peers. It's very important because if Farhan were to say anything to any of you, sure, you'd maybe listen to me, may not listen to me, but one thing is there that you wouldn't necessarily value what I have to say unless you are certain and sure that I have gone through the same experiences. And as a leader, as a CEO, as a founder, as a MD, whatever it may be, you don't necessarily have that infrastructure, have that support system. Sure, you might have friends, you might have family, but you don't have fellow hustlers, or you don't have fellow second-gen entrepreneurs, or you don't have a place where you can go and talk serious business without feeling like you're burdening someone or without feeling judged or without having that safe space. So that's why in a forum, it's very interesting. It's structured in a group of 6 to 10 peers who all meet once a month. The purpose of this meeting is not, like I said, social chatting, chit-chatting. It's sharing that deep 5% of things that really affected you and impacted you in that month. Be it friends, be it family, be it personal life, professional life. So I think the best thing, instead of me keep on talking about what a forum is and what the benefits are, I have a couple of snippets to show you of really well-established members, really well-established leaders who've been in forums for 10, 15, 20 years, telling you and showing you how a forum has impacted their life.
Forum. What is a forum? People tell you stories and they say, forum saved my marriage.
People typically enter into a forum for three main reasons.
Forum is not supposed to take the place of your best friends, nor is it supposed to take the place of your family. It's simply supposed to make you the best version of yourself.
Important part of being in a forum is not only emotionally connecting, communing with each other on some of your bigger challenges, both personally and professionally, but also really becomes, a learning group as well as a supportive group.
What you can really do is you can inspire people and you can influence them.
It is actually a very powerful tool.
DLC forum triangle, career growth, social connections, and then lastly, the personal growth.
Forum has been absolutely instrumental in my business success.
One of the reasons I was really interested in working with DLC, and I remember my first conversation with Jimmy, he said, not only are we going to provide forums for our members, but we're going to provide forums for their key executives.
All the other forums, and these are all fantastic, but Jimmy's focus on having a learning chair within each forum, I think is really special.
I attribute a great deal of the hurdles that I had to come forward to and the way that I have been dealing with them, thanks to that group of people that had this very powerful and unique relationship that we watch each other's back.
Jimmy, thank you so much for hosting me here, Farhan. Thank you for making forums happen within DLC. Jimmy has launched DLC. The forums are happening here within DLC, where I can talk about my business, my personal, and my family / community in one spot. The DLC forum is that spot.
Jimmy is very passionate about people in forums growing their personal development, learning all sorts of new things. And I think that's an important thing to consider, because this group of people are there to learn and grow together.
Forum is basically a peer-to-peer learning tool, allowing us to learn amongst the peers, not just only from the peers, but also with the peer.
I'm very proud to be associated with this.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, DLC.
What essentially every member says is, who've been exposed to this, forums are a game changer. If I could give time to anything else besides my family in my calendar in my life, I'd make sure I make time for my forum. Forums have helped me through everything. I won't take a single decision in my life without consulting my forum. Forums are built and made to work on a certain structure and a certain protocol. Now, if we stick to these protocols, if we adhere to these protocols, which I'll just touch upon in a second, forums stay together for life. Unlike a lot of other relations or equations you have with people, a forum is the sole purpose of a forum and your forumites is for a shared growth, a shared holistic growth. All of my members are in it to make sure Farhan grows and develops, and Farhan is in it to make sure each one of his own peers grow and develop. And that is, when the benefits of that are really reaped, forums stick together 8, 10, 12, 15 years, and even much, much more. How that is done is, there's a forum process that I mentioned. Few key things, right? If I were to come in the forum meeting, and what's the biggest cause of inhibition that would stop you from sharing something with someone? Would anyone like to give it a guess? Or any apprehensions you have about sharing a personal incident that happened in your life and how that's affected you? Would you walk into a room and share that with anyone else? I think in that, the biggest factor is trust. You will only be vulnerable if you can be sure that you trust someone. That's why in forums, the number one biggest factor is that there's very, very strict confidentiality within the 8 to 10 of you. And that is not ensured by again, not a transactional bond or a NDA or stuff like that. It's at a much more deeper emotional kind of connect and level. And that happens after you invest time, after you get to know the members, you attend meetings, you share a little bit, someone else shares a little bit. Through that, eventually, you reach a stage of comfort with your fellow forumites, with your fellow peers. And that level of comfort, after that initial time invested in it, you really start to reap the rewards years and years and years, for years and years and years down the line. And that's not something you can put a value on. And just to recollect and remind you, who are these members? Each one of these members or each one of these forumites that you have is someone who's gone through the same sort of struggles, someone who's as well established as you, or maybe even slightly higher, employing the same number of people or leading the same team size, having the same sort of turnovers or experiences. So it's Farhan in his group with his experiences, with his reach, with his connect, but it's also 9 other Farhans who are all not from the same industry, from non-conflicting industries, who all have their own expertise, who all have something or the other to bring to the table, and who all have their own experiences to share. And that is an invaluable asset that any leader can have. So many forums, so many members say, I will not take a single business decision without my forum. And that's because you have 9 other thinkers. Think of it as if you have 9 other board of directors, 9 other people or 9 other directors on your board, and each one of them comes with their own expertise across different segments, because each one of them run their own businesses. Each of them are successful entrepreneurs. So finding that group who has the expertise, who's dedicated a certain number of time in a month towards your growth, be it your personal growth, be it your business growth, be it your family growth, that is an invaluable commodity. And even if you were to measure it and break it down, vis-a-vis joining a forum, whatever that entry fee is, you can't put a price. I mean, if you were to put a price, so to say, that's $4,000 a year for membership. But against that, the returns on which you're getting is the dedicated time focusing on Farhan by 9 other people who are in the best position to understand and help Farhan. And that's something you can't really ever kind of put in a price. How we went about creating forums and how we went about really not wanting to copy or emulate other similar existing groups is we took the process, we were exposed to it, and we went about understanding who are the real leaders in this group and in this world. So what we've done is, if the team could just bring up the website, the world of forums in terms of education, in terms of teaching, in terms of hand-holding, it's done currently by around only 150 to 180 global players and leaders in the world. Each one of these are businessmen, are L&D developmental coaches, are the guys who don't only train Fortune 500, but they really train Fortune 100 and Fortune 50, day in, day out. So these guys are the pinnacle of their leadership and developmental career. They are called certified forum facilitators. At DLC, when we set about wanting to democratize this concept of forums, which till now was only very elitist. People like Mukesh Ambani, he's been part of a forum for over 15 years. Now, if someone like that, at that position, that stature, finds value being part of a forum, how can we at DLC make sure we sort of share those same benefits that he gets being part of a forum, and then some, and spread it to the real next generation of entrepreneurs and next generation of leaders who aspire to reach that level or that position of significance. So what we did is we gave our honest attempt at creating the DLC forum process, ran it through 40, we scroll down to the CFFs. Right, so we'll just click in and have a look. These are 40 trainers, leaders, experts who all share the same vision as us, that the world of forums is fantastic, the idea is fantastic, but somewhere down the line, it's over the last 25, 30 years, it's become very rigid. It's become very closed and very elitist. So to change this, we decided to do with the forum process what IDEO did with design thinking. We decided to make it open source, make it crowdsource. So there's not a single thing in the manual, which the team will again just bring up, that is proprietary, that is meant to be held. If Zain comes up to me and he's like, Farhan, buddy, in my forum, we did this, we did that. This is a new icebreaker we involved. This is a new exercise we did. This is a new connection activity, this, that, whatever. Great, fantastic. Let's implement it in the manual and make sure we spread it to everyone. This manual, this entire process has been guided and handheld by these 40 forum leaders across the world. So to give you a quick glimpse, some of them is Mo Fatalbab. So Mo is considered one of the 2 or 3 most impactful people in the world of forums, and that's simply because he was one of the innovators and pioneers. A lot of the manuals, a lot of the processes that he developed over 25 years ago is still being used today. But since then, even more has pivoted. Even he realizes there are a lot more refinements, a lot more new tips and tricks, and a lot more human scientific behavior that's come, evolved, that needs to be really incorporated and addressed. So that's why with people such as Mo, and he's trained over 20,000 CEOs and people in the world of forums. He's been in the industry for more than 33 years and personally handled more than 350 forums. So set up groups of 6 to 10 people more than 350 times. And these are all the highest of the highest in the world. People like Dr. Amir Kafir. Dr. Amir Kafir is very interesting he runs a unique concept, taking the world of forums from the businessmen, but spreading it to social impact. What he has done is he set up forums for the EWS section of society in Pune, along with Sakal Group. He runs non-flipped forums, as he calls it, with more than 100,000 women from the EWS section in Pune. So man from Israel is in Pune, right in our backyard, creating a social impact on such a mammoth scale. And that's the power of forums. Because in a forum, what those women get to discuss in a structured manner, without feeling judged, without feeling that whatever I share over here my trust gets broken or it has repercussions or whatever of that sort. And how can she receive advice in a structured manner? That power is unanimous, and that's what all of these trainers share with us in our vision in expanding this benefit to all. So that's what this entire process of forums is. And it's, again, like I said, once you get into a world of forum, you can only truly understand the benefits once you've been there. Because it's not about a therapy or something that you do to go and fix, or just attend a meeting or attend etc. just to be there. It's when things go bad. The idea of forum sticks to you through your highs and lows. So you never have to, if something's been bothering you, at night after you get done from party and you're sitting in the car, and that one thought that's stuck in your head through the whole day keeps coming back. Having that safe space to go and share this with, and not get free, of course, advice, but get experiences that they've gone through, that's what the value of a forum is. So I'd love to, carry on this conversation some other time. Also, a lot of cool new kind of things that we've done in the world of DLC forums, such as a 12-month learning calendar. So how can we make sure you and your group, between you all unanimously, you all decide what is it that you want to learn, but also give 20% of your time in the world in your meetings towards professional development, 20% of time towards happiness development. So we all know about happiness, but can we scientifically know what happiness means? Or can we spend 10% of our time outdoors, being more connected to nature, being more in touch with our environment? So like this, we've developed an intensive 12-month learning calendar that's also for the first time part of the forum process. So I'll leave you with this, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Hi Farhan. So I want to ask you this question. From where you got this idea that you want to start this forum, and what made you start this?
That's a lovely question. So the idea of forums, I must say, is not mine. It's been in existence. It's been used. So people like Sarah Blakely, who's the founder of Spanx. People like Mukesh Ambani, right? No one needs introduction. People like that have been a part of forum for donkey's years. Being exposed to EO about 6 years back, being exposed to the world of forums about 6 years back, we saw that benefit and we saw how game-changing it is. But also firsthand, we saw what were the limitation factors of getting involved in its current state. How does a forum exist? And the benefits are great, but can we add our own sort of twist to it? And that's what really excited me, because we aren't just trying to copy and emulate, but from organizations such as YPO, such as EO, what they've done and they've established, we learn from them, we acknowledge them, but along with this group of 40 powerful facilitators who are the brainchild behind all of these processes, we decided to create a more, not appropriate, but more applicable version of forum in today's day and age. And that version is not just limited to someone who feels they've achieved things in life and then has reached a stage of self-actualization. No, that's not true. It's built and geared in such a way that even youngsters, even second-gen entrepreneurs, how can they put effectively to use a forum in their life, whatever struggles they might have, be it business, be it very minuscule problems, but making sure that benefit is spread to all is why we really took up the challenge at DLC, because it's something, like I said, I personally believe in, we personally believe in, and that's why I've decided to make it my career over the last 2.5 years.